Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today we've got a wild lineup of clips, ranging from the strangest paranormal clips captured this year to never-before-seen footage of cryptids that will blow your mind. Ready? Let's dive right in. Blurry clips can be frustrating, I know, but trust me, there's something intriguing about this one. Just watch closely. Did you catch it? At first, it seems like an ordinary clip, then out of nowhere, two strange shapes of light streak across the screen. That's definitely not something you see every day. For a bit of context, this footage comes from a home security camera in Texas. The homeowner installed it to keep an eye on her property, and the blur might be due to moisture on the outdoor lens. Still, it doesn't explain the mysterious lights. Now, about those shapes, they're unlike anything we've featured on this channel before. Paranormal enthusiasts who have analyzed the clip are convinced that these aren't just random lights. They think they might actually be specters. For those unfamiliar with the term, specters are ghostly apparitions or spirits often associated with hauntings. They're typically thought to be the lingering presence of a deceased person, manifesting as ethereal figures. They're not something we feature every day, but that doesn't mean that they're not out there. In fact, most individuals who have seen this clip believe it's the real deal. Personally, I was about to brush this clip off until Aaron, our in-house conspiracy theorist, mentioned something. The audio of the original clip isn't very clear with lots of interference, but that changes for a few seconds when the light beings, aka specters, pass by. The interference drops for a few seconds. This had me scratching my head and wondering if this was the real deal. You've seen the clip and heard the audio as well. What are your thoughts concerning the whole thing?
For about 15 minutes. I know, dude. What's going on? What are you seeing? And something's been spooking him. He's jumping around. This dude.
As much as we love dog videos, that's not what this is about. Pay attention to the top part of the window. Do you see it? Dark shadows suddenly moved across that area. The dog looked back at its owner to see if the owner noticed. Clearly, he didn't. The clip was originally recorded by the owner because this chilling session with his furry buddy was interrupted by the dog when it started barking at the other side of the room. It would occasionally look back at the one filming in between barks as though it were trying to tell him something. This, according to him, had been going on at least 15 minutes before he started recording. He initially didn't notice the shadow move on the wall. It's later when he was reviewing the clip and talking about the dog's behavior that he noticed. Noticing the dark mass is one thing, understand and knowing what it is quite another. This man didn't know what he had just filmed and uploaded it online seeking answers. The paranormal community had much to say, with some suggesting it might have been a shadow or black orb. Others thought a paranormal entity might be roaming the room. Some even shared experiences where their pups had seen similar things barking at them and later turned out dead. Clearly, This is serious, at least we think so. But not everyone in the paranormal community was convinced. Some actually thought it might be the shadow of a bug, which you want to remain on the logical side of things. Sounds like a probable explanation. It's hard to call this one, but thankfully you guys have seen it too, so what do you think? Moving on, things just get even weirder. What do you guys see here? Just take your time and look at it carefully. Done? Great. Well, what do you think it is? If you asked yourself if that was a mermaid, you weren't the only one. When this clip made its way online, many individuals in the paranormal community called it a mermaid, and looking at it, I get why. We've got the human upper half and the fish-like lower half. What's more, it doesn't have weird graphics or anything like that. We see actual humans interact, pick it up, and drop it. This cancelled the AI argument, at least for some. We're not told where this was captured, but we see fishermen around this catch. It's intriguing to say the least. We're not sure what the men who took the body away did with it, but what if there's a secret society that takes these paranormal beings in exchange for some cool cash? What if this secret organization is the government? Sounds like a bit of a stretch, I know, but think about it.
Look at the size of this old bitch. It's gotta be 9 foot tall. Hey, see if you want some chocolate. Hey, big fella. Hey, fella. Hey, fella, come here.
Imagine you're out in the woods when you come across this scene. It's dark, but you hear sounds and quickly grab your camera and flashlight. You see something moving in the bushes. It's faint, but you follow the sound with your camera and eventually capture this. It's a dark, tall being moving through the bushes. It's got a human-like gait and motions for you to stop when your flashlight hits it in the face. I mean, it sounds funny, but you see everything I'm describing on your screen. We're not sure who recorded this or where he did it, but the post makes it clear that his time in the woods was interrupted by this big being. He believes it's Bigfoot, and a number of veterans in the paranormal community agree with him. They found Bigfoot's behavior realistic, as the big guy doesn't like being bothered. At least that's what they said. There are others who found the behavior suspicious and found the big guy a little too small for the legend he is. In other words, they thought it was simply a man in a costume. You've seen the clip. What do you say about this one? Real or fake?
It's gotta be 9 foot tall. Hey, see if you want some chocolate. Hey, big fella. Hey, fella. Hey, fella, come here.
We've had a lot of strange things on this channel, but this one might just win the most bizarre of them all in today's episode. I mean, how do we even go about describing and explaining this one? First, we see two different light sources of beings come from different directions. They combine, and then they disappear just as they appeared. Yeah, it's new and, quite frankly, a bit confusing. Some individuals in the paranormal community think this is angelic activity, whereas there are some, aka the majority, who don't think so. Despite the kickback, some insist this is either angelic or demonic. To some, it's even a battle between the two. I know it's wild, but you guys see it too, so what do you think? Would you side with the spirit mediums who see nothing but a spiritual battle, or would you side with the logical humans who think this is nothing but AI? Not to pressure you, but choose your side wisely. Take a look at this clip.
I can zoom in more on Instagrams. It's a silhouette, right, of someone.
Take a second look. I'm not the only one seeing what appears to be a humanoid-looking cloud, right? The individual who uploaded this clip mentioned that it looked more convincing in person, and I'm tempted to believe him. Not just because of the fact that his account hadn't been posting paranormal things before this clip, but because these kinds of clips with clouds looking like humanoids have been showing up a lot recently. If you watched our episodes during Christmas, you'd have seen a few of these. If you didn't, you can check them out after this video. The sheer number of clips coming up recently featuring humanoids in the clouds has led many in the paranormal community to believe that there are beings in our clouds. But one question they have been unable to answer is, what are these beings? Another that requires answering is, why are they here? Why are they allowing themselves to be captured at this time? Not everyone is convinced these are aliens, though. Some think it's basically the mind playing tricks on us, something along the lines of pareidolia. I know this is a controversial one, but what do you guys also think?
I can zoom in more on Instagrams. It's a silhouette, right, of someone.
Still on strange humanoid creatures, take a look at this clip. You see it, don't you? It's hiding behind the bushes almost as though it doesn't want to be discovered. It tries very hard to remain still, almost as though it believes if it remains still, no one will see it's there. While we can see it's humanoid, we can't help but ask ourselves, what exactly is it that we're dealing with here? The uploader, on the other hand, believes this is a skinwalker. He apparently recorded this in a region where skinwalkers are known to be regular. While skinwalkers are known to take any form or shape they so desire, this doesn't look like the traditional drawings of a skinwalker in the Navajo culture. The paranormal community is also divided on this, with some suggesting that this is nothing more than a human pretending to be a rake. Some also claim the clip is doctored. It's always this controversial when it comes to paranormal clips. You've seen it yourselves, so what do you think? You must be wondering what it is you're looking at. You know what a fog is, right? Or would you believe me if I said there are particles from a fog? No? Well, allow me to provide some context. This clip comes from East Texas, and it was recorded on the 30th of December 2024. The individual who recorded it found her pool looking like this in the morning. I know what you may be thinking. Maybe she used chemicals or something. Well, it turns out that she didn't. The only extraneous variable when it comes to the pool is that there was a weird fog she hadn't seen in her 11 years of being on her property that night before. She thought nothing of it until she woke up to find this in her pool. While there's nothing on local media about this, it turns out she's not the only one to have had this experience. Take a look at this one too. While this isn't a pool clip, it shows us a woman checking her HVAC filter. See what a new filter looks like? Now, let's take a quick look at the new filter she installed. See its state? She claims it's the dirtiest filter she's ever changed, despite it being the one that's been fixed for the shortest amount of time. What changed, you may ask? Well, she too started experiencing an unusual and strange fog where she lived. Next, we visit the UK, where we have a similar issue. The man who filmed this stated that they had been experiencing a strange fog for a while. I mean, it did look strange, but no one thought anything of it until the rains came. The result is what you see on your screen. There's some white stuff in the rain droplets. I know fogs can have this whitish translucent look, but they're not supposed to come down as whitish residue when it rains, unless there's some pollutant or other substance responsible for the fog. The man does believe something is going on and that someone is slowly poisoning us. One odd detail about these clips is that clips 1 and 3 happened on the same day but on different continents. This rules out coincidence and makes it look like something that was planned. But who will create an artificial fog and why? Should we be worried and scared? Kindly share your thoughts in the comments section. If you still don't believe in ghosts after all this time on this channel, this clip might just change your mind. In the clip, we see a girl opening a door to her home. While she's doing that, there's something going on in the background. There's a translucent being or a creature moving from left to the right. Once she enters, she hangs around and stands in one spot. This footage was recorded by the home's Ring camera, hence the quality. The family didn't really notice that there was something out there with their daughter until they reviewed the clip. Unable to come to terms with the clip and conclude on what it might be, the family uploaded online where many thought it was a ghost. There were some who also thought it was probably a camera glitch since the recording was being done at night. You've seen the clip with your own eyes, so what do you think? We found this one on one of our paranormal platforms dedicated to demonic animals. This was recorded by a young girl at a family's residence. Being a part of the social media generation that she is, she posted this and it went viral. She personally believed there was a demon in her ceiling and that what we see is the hand of the demon. Some in the paranormal community also picked it up and shared it, stating that it was a demonic possessed animal. While that sounds intriguing, Aaron thinks it's simply a bird that may have lost its way and ended up in the ceiling. When our conspiracy theorist chooses the path of logic, we're usually tempted to align with him. But what do you guys think? And just like that, we're back to another Ring camera capture, and guess what? There's a ghost in it. Confused? Well, pay attention. We start the clip with two men walking toward the road. By the time they get there and move to the other side, there's only one person. What happened to the other? Well, no one knows for sure. The funny thing is, the one who stepped out of the house, who was a mailman, didn't even notice there was someone there. It took the woman whose property it was reviewing her Ring cam tapes to see that the mailman might have run into someone who just disappeared in a thin air. She shared this online and it quickly went viral. Many bought into the idea that this was a genuine ghost encounter, whereas others felt there had to be more to it, just not the paranormal kind. One person even mentions that it could be that the men are walking side by side, but it doesn't show on screen because of the angle. When it comes to things like this, I'd love to hear your opinions, so what do you think? Next, we've got this intriguing footage that shows a small frog floating in a pool of water. What makes it truly bizarre is the pair of wings where its upper limbs should be. The frog uses its lower limbs to propel itself through the water. The person behind the camera scoops the creature out of the water with their hand, showing it up close. Its appearance looks remarkably real, with no signs of digital manipulation or CGI effects. But if this isn't clever editing, what could it be? Frogs are known to be sensitive to changes in their habitats, and pollution or chemical exposure can lead to deformities. While I'm all for logic and science, I don't think there's a science to this. No evolution has happened here. My guess is the wings could have been attached to the frog to create the footage. We've dealt with such before, but hey, I could be wrong. What do you think, though? Could this indeed be a mutant frog or something else entirely? Bigfoot sightings seem to have taken a modern twist, with several images captured on Google Earth Street View by different individuals sparking debate and curiosity. The first image comes from Washington State, where a man spotted a strange creature lurking among the trees. When the image was enhanced with a few filters applied, it became clearer. This made it possible to make out a face, broad shoulders, and an unmistakably humanoid figure. The second image originates from Europe, though the exact location remains unknown. This sighting features a massive bipedal creature with brown fur standing in a field with trees in the background. The figure's domed head and upright posture make it eerily reminiscent of Bigfoot. The third image isn't from Google Earth, but rather from a fishing trip in Colorado. The anglers stumbled upon a massive footprint in the sand. The image was so deep that even the toes left a significant impression, suggesting the creature's enormous size and weight. To make things even more intriguing, there were multiple tracks in the area, leading many to speculate that the creature had come to fish in the waters nearby. Intriguing, I know, but what do you make of these sightings? While children in many parts of the world eagerly await the gifts Santa will leave under the Christmas tree, things look quite different in some regions of Indonesia. Take this clip for instance. We see men holding large sacks force this young boy into one as he kicks and cries in protest. But don't worry, this isn't a kidnapping. It's actually part of a Christmas costume. These men roam neighborhoods, and parents with naughty children invite them over to teach their kids a lesson. The men pretend to carry the kids away in sacks as a warning. However, they're careful not to harm the children, as you can see in the footage. One man even shakes the boy's hand gently when he stands in the sack crying. The idea is to scare the kids into behaving better in the upcoming year. This tradition is inspired by Sinterklaas, a Dutch Christmas tradition that also involves playful scare tactics to keep children on their best behavior. What do you think? Is this an effective way to encourage good behavior throughout the year, or a creative way to create childhood traumas?
Can you see it? It's a fucking Bigfoot. It's a Bigfoot.
A woman driving near the woods had a startling encounter, or so it seemed at first. Ahead in the tree line, she spotted a 9-foot-tall Bigfoot figure standing among the trees. Its towering silhouette gave her quite a fright. As she drove closer, it became clear this wasn't a living creature at all, but a Bigfoot sculpture cleverly crafted from leaves and other natural materials. The craftsmanship was so realistic. It seems someone decided to have a bit of fun by creating this woodland surprise and leaving it in plain sight. Whether it's meant as a prank, art installation, or just to stir curiosity, it definitely succeeded in turning heads. What would you do if you stumbled across something like this?
Not the best.
I got 5 chickens. I don't want any LED on them. None. Scan my shirt 5 times, buddy. 5 times.
This footage shows a bizarre and head-scratching moment captured at a supermarket. A man purchases 5 rotisserie chickens, but instead of letting the cashier scan the barcodes on the chickens themselves, he insists they scan a QR code printing on his t-shirt 5 times. He explained that he didn't want the LED lights from the scanner to touch his food. He believes the red light could somehow affect the chicken, but doesn't seem to realize the scanner still emits the same light onto his shirt. If there were any supposed danger from the LED lights, well, wouldn't he be exposing himself even more directly? It's an amusing interaction, but perhaps he really knows something that we don't.
Scan it.
I did.
Okay.
A homeowner shared a puzzling security camera clip from his porch. In the footage, a box that was sitting still suddenly slides forward on its own without any external force. There was no wind or visible interference to explain the movement. This eerie event has sparked a lot of speculation. Could it be paranormal activity, with a ghost deciding it needed a package for some otherworldly delivery? Or could there be a more grounded explanation, like vibrations, static electricity, or an animal out of frame nudging the box? I don't have answers, and the paranormal community can't seem to agree on one thing, so can you help? This is definitely not a scene you see every day. A man driving on the streets of Valencia came across a shocking and eerie scene. In the opposite lane, cars were scattered all over. Some flipped upside down, others resting on their sides. It looked as if a tornado had selectively wreaked havoc on just one side of the road. What's puzzling is that there's no official information or explanation about what might have caused this strange event. Could it have been a freak weather incident like a sudden microburst, a localized windstorm, or something even more unusual such as a mass accident caused by an unexplained phenomenon? The footage has left many viewers scratching their heads. I tried to do some digging around but didn't have enough information to help me out. Does anyone have an idea what happened here? If so, can you educate us in the comments section? This footage was shared by a resident in an unnamed community, and it's got everyone talking. The resident, filming from his apartment window, captured this massive 4-legged spider-like creature crawling across the walls of the neighborhood buildings. The creature scuttled across the walls with unnatural fluidity before disappearing out of sight. Replaying the clip, the form is unmistakable. It's there. But how can something like this even exist? Some members of the paranormal community think it might have come from a different dimension to check out ours. Some also think that this isn't real and it's digital fabrication. Naturally, this has led to an intellectual debate among members of the community, but you've seen the clip with your own eyes, so what do you think? A man was driving down a deserted street one night when his dash cam captured something truly unsettling. On the side of the road, there appeared to be a pale figure sitting cross-legged on the ground, its head bent downward. At first glance, it looked like a person draped in a white robe, motionless and eerie in the darkness. But as the car approached and passed by, the figure lifted its head and moved, revealing something truly bizarre. It didn't look human at all. Upon closer inspection, what seemed like a white robe wasn't clothing, it was the figure's own skin, stark and unnervingly white. So what exactly is this? A paranormal entity, an unknown creature, or something else entirely? Share your thoughts. This woman's chilling home encounter has left the internet divided. One quiet night, while feeding her cats and casually filming the moment, she caught something terrifying on camera. From the corner of the room, a boy suddenly appeared. He had a bushy afro hair, a plain white t-shirt and shorts. His eyes seemed to glow unnaturally in the dim light, and he just stood there silently watching her. The twist? The woman lives alone. She uploaded the footage online, claiming she had no idea who the boy was or how he even got into her house. Naturally, the video blew up, with some viewers convinced the boy was a ghost. But here's where it gets even stranger. Some eagle-eyed viewers spotted the boy's reflection on the floor. This small detail sparked skepticism, as popular lore suggests ghosts don't cast reflections. Could this be an elaborate hoax, or is there more to the story? What do you think? A genuine paranormal encounter, or just another internet stunt? A resident of New Jersey shared this bizarre footage online, and it's causing quite a stir. In the video, a strange craft is seen flying across the night sky. It performs a sudden U-turn, locking its position to face a glowing red circle with an orb at its center hovering nearby. The glowing orb appears to be tracking the craft, and as the craft maneuvers to face the orb, it feels like the two are about to engage in some kind of standoff or battle. The red circle and its orb seem eerily coordinated, almost as if it's challenging the mysterious craft. What's going on here? Could this be related to the ongoing drone sightings in New Jersey? We've stepped into a new year, but the mystery of New Jersey skies continues to deepen. What do you think is going on? While driving one evening, a driver spotted something unsettling on the side of the highway. A dark, shadowy mass that vaguely resembled a humanoid figure strolling along the pavement. What made this sight so eerie was its solid and real appearance. It didn't seem like a ghostly apparition or a trick of the light. Instead, it stood out darkly against the dimly lit surroundings, as if it had a tangible presence. The figure's unsettling nature raises so many questions. Was it just an ordinary person walking in an unusual spot? Could it have been some kind of creature, or perhaps something else entirely? Highways at night are already mysterious places, but sightings like this add an extra layer of unease. What do you think this figure could have been? A harmless passerby, a creature, or something out of the ordinary? What is this creature walking across the ground? Its back is covered in what appears to be sharp, nail-like structures, or possibly pieces of wood protruding from its body. These unusual features give it a distinct and intriguing appearance, almost resembling a tiny armored vehicle. As it moves, the textures and colors of its back catch the light, creating a captivating display. What could this fascinating insect be? Well, I did some research, and it turns out this isn't AI. Who knew? This little guy is a case moth. For those unfamiliar with them, case moth caterpillars, also known as bagworm moth caterpillars, are the larvae of moths that build protective cases out of silk and other materials. It turns out they're pretty common and are found worldwide. While they may look nice and interesting, some species can be destructive to plant life. Now that I know they're real, a part of me wants one. What about you? This clip comes all the way from Europe, and it's got the paranormal community talking. They reported hearing strange aircraft noises in the sky, so they began filming. That's when they captured a black sphere silently floating across the sky. But what made this even more bizarre was the fighter jet trailing right behind it. The big question here is, was the jet escorting the sphere or was it chasing it down? Without more details, it's hard to say what's going on. While some members of the community are intrigued in trying to interpret the events of the clip, a few are skeptical that it's even real. This man, for instance, states that fighter jets wouldn't go after an orb because they couldn't capture it. For this reason, he thinks it's fake. Some believed it was real and stated they'd seen a number of clips like this. Personally, I have my reservations, but what do you guys also think? This next video is rather bizarre. It was uploaded online by someone claiming to be half human, half beast living in the wilderness. They go by the name Alan. Take a look at this.
And super excited because I love to get subscribe when people subscribe and like.
From the footage, Alan appears to be part human. You can see his hands and legs, although they're incredibly dirty. However, the voice sounds far too refined for someone supposedly living in the wild, don't you think? And here's the biggest question. Who gave Alan a phone? I mean, wild humans aren't supposed to be known for enjoying the luxuries of social media or modern technology, yet here's Alan out in the wild, casually vlogging his life. What do you think? Could this be real, or is Alan just a clever storyteller pulling a fast one on all of us?
And super excited because I love to get subscribe when people subscribe and like.
This next video comes from a backyard CCTV camera with motion detection. At first glance, it seems unremarkable. The footage captures a quiet night with a fence in view. Then, a leaf drifts down, triggering the motion sensor, and that's when something unusual appears. Orbs. They all spread out of view, leaving two faint glowing orbs floating in the air, one above and one below. They hover silently. Their movement is smooth, almost purposeful as they drift about the yard. Some dismiss this as dust particles or light reflections, while others believe it could be something more mysterious, spirits, energy, or unexplained phenomena. I think this is one I would want to hear your opinion on. What do you think is going on here? Take a look at this unsettling scene. We got a man crouched over an open coffin, engaged in some kind of activity inside. What makes it even stranger is that when the police approach him cautiously, maintaining their distance as the man stands and sprays some sort of liquid, not just at the officers but also at the surrounding area. The officers' hesitant demeanor suggests that they're wary of this man. However, the footage provides no clear context. We don't know if the man emerged from the coffin or if he is tampering with it. The contents of the coffin also remain obscured, leaving us to speculate what might be inside. Some members of the paranormal community suspect he's casting spells or reciting incantations, but that's just speculation. We can't confirm or deny it. Does anyone have an idea what could be going on here? If you do, please let us know in the comment section. This footage tells an eerie yet oddly charming story. A dog owner, curious about the commotion from the night before, reviewed his home security camera footage only to uncover something truly mysterious. His black dog, full of energy, was seen running around and playing with another dog, but this other dog had white fur that appeared almost translucent with a ghostly quality to its movements. The two dogs were joyfully chasing each other, their play filled with boundless energy. Yet the mysterious white dog didn't belong to the household, and its otherworldly appearance made the owner uneasy. Was it a stray that just happened to pass by, or something more supernatural like a ghostly canine companion visiting for a night of fun? Regardless of what it was, the black dog didn't seem to mind. It was simply enjoying the moment. What do you think? A man exploring the breathtaking mountains of Kyrgyzstan had an unexpected encounter. While enjoying the scenic beauty, he witnessed an avalanche cascading down the slopes in the distance. From his vantage point, he watched as a massive cloud of dust and debris surged forward. But what he didn't anticipate was just how far the avalanche's force would travel. Before he knew it, the swirling cloud of snow and dust reached his location. Reacting quickly, he sought shelter behind a large rock, using it as a shield against the oncoming wave. Nature's beauty is indeed captivating, but it comes with its own dangers. Looks like this man was prepared.
Oh God. Oh dear God.
A group of men gathered one night near an old abandoned building, and as they stood there, they noticed an odd phenomenon. A bright light that intermittently blinked in a rhythmic pattern. Each time the light turned off, the entire area seemed to distort, creating a bizarre visual effect. This peculiar occurrence attracted the attention of many viewers, leading some to believe that a portal to another dimension was opening right before their eyes. The excitement and curiosity about what lay beyond the ordinary world sparked various theories and discussions amongst them. However, not everyone was convinced. Skeptics pointed out that the strange lights could simply be the result of a malfunctioning flashlight or some other benign source of illumination. What do you guys think? A home security camera captured the actions of three men attempting to steal a car. They approached the vehicle under the cover of darkness and quickly removed the covers from one of the headlights. Using an indicator wire, one of the individuals connected it to a handheld OBD2 device. This device allowed them to interface with the car's onboard diagnostic system, enabling them to start the vehicle without needing a key. Once they accessed the car's systems, they unlocked the doors and swiftly got inside. With little regard for the risk, they drove off without attracting any attention or facing any obstacles. Looks like that home may need extra security. On that note, let me make sure my car is still in the parking lot. Hold on a sec. I'll be back in a minute. Let's revisit a piece of footage that gained widespread attention back in 2024. A carpenter was using a drone to survey a wooded area, hoping to spot a mother bear that he had been tracking. However, instead of the bear, the drone captured something far more astonishing: this gigantic creature. As the footage plays out, you can see the creature walking gracefully through the footage. It took enormous strides that left many people questioning if it could actually be a human. The gait and stride length were simply too expansive to belong to a person, so whatever this being was, it was distinctly different from us. The footage sparked debates online, with enthusiasts praising it as some of the best evidence of Bigfoot captured on camera. Many argued that this sighting was credible due to the creature's distinctive features and the way it moved effortlessly through the trees. While it's impressive footage, I would want to hear your thoughts on it. No, my car is just fine, if you were wondering. Hold on to your hiking boots because there's a mountain mystery unfolding at the Lone Peak Mountains. A resident sees a figure casually walking up the mountain, moving with eerie ease. Now here's the twist. It looks almost human, but with the size and build that's definitely not human. A quick zoom and it's clear this isn't your typical mountain hiker. Given the area is notorious for Bigfoot sightings, the individual concluded that we may just be dealing with the elusive cryptid. He couldn't follow or get any closer, so we'll have to make do with this clip. What do you think, though? Could it really be a Bigfoot, or is he just seeing what he wants to see? A group of kids, curious and courageous, rush into a farmland drawn by mysterious noises echoing from within. Just as they approach, the source of the commotion takes off at warp speed straight into the clouds. And what do they discover? A flattened maize field and a UFO zipping across the sky. UFO sights have become so common these days, it feels like any moment from now we'll see aliens knocking at our front doors to ask for a glass of water. As much as I love alien clips and want to believe this is real and authentic, it just feels very unreal. It looks like one of those amateur student films, which makes me believe someone created this looking for their 5 minutes of fame. Given we featured this clip on the channel, it's safe to say they've achieved their aim. The Tesla company has been doing well in coming up with a lot of innovative tech like robots and even their self-driving cars. Recently, however, a Tesla car owner was in a life-threatening situation. According to him, his driving car could not detect a train ahead, which almost led to a collision. This is where the skeptics against the whole self-driving car jumped out with the "I told you so" card. Perhaps this could be a sign that giving AI control is not the best, but it looks like we're still going on with plans. This will definitely be treated as an obstacle in the pursuit of greatness. At the time of filming the video, Tesla is yet to make an official statement concerning the situation. But what do you think? Is the push to an AI and tech-controlled future the right course, or should we slow down or stop it altogether? Share your thoughts. I'm not exactly sure what to make of this, but this certainly doesn't look right. You guys see a chicken with crab legs too, right? Could it be some sort of hybrid with spliced DNA or surgically altered limbs? At first glance, it's hard to be certain, but after seeing this clip on many paranormal pages and platforms, you start to notice a few things. For instance, there's a noticeable blur beneath the chicken that's definitely not normal. Aside from that, there's also some sort of lag or delay in its movements, which makes the clip look like it's been digitally manipulated or edited in a way. I was not the only one to notice this, as the subsequent pages where it was posted had individuals calling these inconsistencies out. Take these, for instance. While everyone was calling out the obvious, another user confirmed everyone's suspicions. This was indeed footage of a regular chicken that had been edited to create this hybrid, or as this user loved to call it, hybrid. Stepping away from the fact that this is obviously fake, would you love to see a creature that's somewhat the hybrid of a chicken and a crab like what's on your screen? Let us know in the comments section. Nature has a way of surprising us, turning the everyday into something extraordinary. Someone found this insect on a wall. From afar, it might look like your everyday large, winged and flying insect, but a closer look at it and you'll realize something's off about this insect. It looks like it's got a man's face. If you're familiar with the Conjuring universe, you know that this looks like Valak, but it's just a moth, so how? Is this a case of pareidolia because I was watching the Conjuring universe recently, or is there some merit to my claim? Guys, what do you think? This guy is out taking a casual stroll through the woods, nothing out of the ordinary, but then he gets this distinct feeling like something's off, that creepy sense of being watched and not being alone.
Get back.
On instinct, he turns around to see what's going on. That's when he spots it. This bizarre black sphere just hovering in the air, traveling right behind him like some kind of sinister follower. It's giving me evil red balloon from It vibes, you know. Part intrigued but mostly freaked out, the guy quickly whips out his phone to record this weird phenomena. The sphere seems to have a mind of its own, drifting in this really unsettling, unnatural way. The whole atmosphere is tense and ominous. Without warning, the black sphere suddenly charges straight at the man, moving through the air at an inhuman speed, accompanied by this bizarre roaring sound. You can hear the guy's terrified yell just before the footage abruptly cuts out, leaving you to wonder what the hell just happened. What do you think this mysterious black sphere could be? More importantly, how would you react if you came face to sphere with something that's sinister and bizarre looking on a casual wood stroll? Julius thinks it might be CGI generated because the leaves don't move when it touches them, but, well, what do you think? These men came across a hole in the tunnel, and one of them decided to throw something into the hole. What happened next was terrifying. Did you catch that? A large, dark creature began creeping out of the hole. In a panic, the men quickly used a large stone to cover the hole before the creature could fully crawl out. As you can see from the footage, it took significant effort for both men to keep the creature at bay. The strength and persistence they displayed indicated that whatever was down there was powerful and determined to get out. But what could that be? Some speculate that it might be an unknown subterranean creature, possibly a cryptid, or even something out of a horror movie. Others believe it could be a displaced animal, although its size and the men's struggles suggest otherwise. The mystery remains unsolved, but the footage leaves an unsettling impression of what might be lurking beneath the surface. Unless, of course, it's fake, but don't mind me, it's just the skepticism talking. What are your thoughts on this eerie encounter? Bizarre looking, right? It's got an otherworldly glow and feel to it, so much so that it's almost unreal and unbelievable. What you were seeing was allegedly recorded by someone on one of the paranormal platforms and sent to the admin of the page anonymously. He claims this is real and he'd seen and recorded it with his own eyes, but didn't want to come forward for fear of being targeted by the government and what have you. Once the admin of the page made this known to us, various comments and theories started to fly around. Some thought the possibility of it being real was slim, but not impossible. Others also thought it had to have been digitally created. As the debate raged on, someone pointed out that the object or supposed alien ship looked eerily similar to Atari's Asteroids game. Another mentioned Space Invaders. If you're young and don't really know what those names represent, they were popular games from the early days that you should definitely try. Now, could this have indeed been digitally created using those games as inspiration and building blocks, or were the creators of those games trying to communicate something that they'd seen to us in encrypted form by developing those games? Or is it really nothing more than a poor attempt to mislead us? Hard to say, but share your thoughts. A homeowner sets up some security cameras around her house, just for peace of mind, pretty standard stuff. But then she's reviewing the footage and catches something seriously bizarre. There's this thing sprinting across a driveway by her car. It's only about 3 feet tall, but has these freaky skinny legs, and its head is totally out of proportion, like a big bulbous thing on a little body. The midsection was harder to make out, just looked kind of dark and shadowy. She slows down the footage to get a better look, and that's when it gets even weirder. This creature, whatever it is, has a body structure that's almost bird-like. Thin legs, seemingly lightweight frame, but the way it's moving is unmistakably human-like. Confident, purposeful strides. It's like, beats me, I'm some sort of human-bird hybrid. Such things aren't supposed to exist, are there? So what could we be looking at then? A real-life genetic experiment gone haywire? Some bizarre undiscovered species that blends human and bird traits? It's hard to say at this point, but what are your thoughts on this? Next, we get a glimpse of the future right in someone's backyard. This man has crafted a shield that's definitely worthy of the name camouflage. You notice that the shield makes him invisible as soon as he stands behind it. This is the kind of stuff you see in movies and games, but this man has really built it. Yeah, he's actually done it. A shield more practical than Captain America's. Imagine the possibilities, the untapped potential of technology. It could change the law enforcement and military game for good. But if the man could create this, what could those big shot tech companies be cooking up behind their closed doors? Have you ever heard of the expression, the more the merrier?
Oh my God. I cannot believe I'm getting this on video.
Well, in this video that has been circulating online, someone captured an unusual sight in the sky. 3 celestial bodies can be seen, and it's difficult to determine exactly what they are. The footage was taken at sunset, which makes it seem as if the 3 objects are 3 moons hanging in the sky. However, this seems unlikely given what we know about Earth's natural satellites. Our planet is known to have only 1 moon, so the presence of 2 additional moons is highly unusual. It's not every day that we get to witness something that seems to defy the laws of nature, so it's no wonder that this footage has captured people's attention. But how is this even possible? Normally, photographers will tell you it's the reflection of the lens, and surely enough, we weren't the only ones looking for that comment. I'm no expert at photography, but I don't think this is one of those instances where we're dealing with the reflection of the camera lens. We can't, however, say the same for this next one.
I ain't about to release this shit though. I'm not trying to have somebody follow me. Bro, what in the hell?
Now, I have seen a lot of scary things in my day, but this next one, it just gives me the heebie-jeebies.
I gotta go. I gotta release.
I know body modification is a thing for many today, but this young man here appears to have taken a very extreme route as far as that is concerned. There are a few individuals that modify their faces like the way he has. Talk about their eyes, brows, tongues, nose, teeth, and basically their whole faces. This man seems to have done it all. While it might have been done to live out a fantasy, there are still a lot of health concerns from just looking at it. For the first time, I saw a comments section where people were not ridiculing but having genuine concern for the individual. Most of the modifications he's made are permanent, so there's no going back. But almost everyone who saw this stated that they hoped and prayed that he wouldn't face extreme health complications for his decision. Under the tranquil veil of night, another TikToker stumbled upon a sight that was both enchanting and enigmatic.
Oh my dude, I wish I had a better camera.
A beam of orange light pierced through the darkness, delicately kissing the earth below. But this was no celestial event or distant star. It was the captivating display of artillery illumination rounds. At least, that's what Julius would have us believe.
On the parts that aren't dark.
Dude, that shit is fucking tripping me out.
These rounds, commonly employed in military operations, serve as a dual purpose, illuminating the night sky to enhance visibility and exposing the surrounding terrain. The orange glow, set against the inky backdrop of the night, created a surreal atmosphere, transforming the ordinary into something otherworldly and mesmerizing. I know this explanation doesn't convince you, but that's what skeptics like Julius are pushing. The believers in the paranormal like Aaron, however, believe we could be looking at a portal to another dimension or a rift of some sort. Instead of stating my stance on the subject, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think?
The phone doesn't even do it justice of what we're seeing.
Oh, there's another one.
Yeah, they're falling out of the sky. Look, that one's just sitting there.
Let's turn our attention to the charming cityscape of Vicenza, Italy, where an extraordinary architectural wonder takes center stage. In this mesmerizing scene, an onlooker gazes out of a window only for us to see a large body of water. It's almost as though the whole area has been submerged in a pool. Not much context was given, so we can't tell if we're dealing with a structure that has always been like this or one that's dealing with heavy floods or rains. Whatever the case, you have to agree that that's some serious bit of architectural engineering. I don't know if there are many homes in the US that could survive something like this. Simply remarkable. In this clip, we see the exact same thing, a plane stuck mid-air above some woodlands. One of the commentators on the video shared a terrifying experience of being a passenger on a plane that went through something similar. All of you talk about seeing it, but I was on a plane when this happened. It was terrifying, especially for someone who understands the physics at play in aviation as a whole. I glanced out of the window to see lights standing still on the ground, the engines not in use. 10 seconds later, I heard the turbines winding up and a loud roar as the 737-900ER plowed forward into the headwind to land. It was such a weird sensation to feel the plane, and the G-forces almost ceased to exist in the air. The thought of being trapped in an aircraft hovering in mid-air must have been a truly harrowing experience. Can we believe her? Well, we have no way of verifying her story, but if it's indeed true, then I have questions. The first is, who's keeping everyone experiencing these things quiet? Secondly, could the government be involved? Is this a bigger conspiracy than we think? I guess we'll never truly know. However, another commentator provided some fascinating insight into the situation by suggesting that what we were witnessing is the parallax effect. The parallax effect is when things seem to move when you look at them from different angles. This happens because the way things look changes depending on where you're looking from. If it sounds familiar, it's because it's the same explanation the reporter from earlier gave. This leaves us with one question. Who is telling the truth? Well, looks like we've got a real-life spider mystery on our hands. We all know that Peter Parker was bitten by a spider. What if someone found that spider? Someone came across this red and blue spider skittering about, its colors strikingly similar to none other than Spider-Man himself. Now, before you dismiss the whole thing, let's entertain the possibility for a moment. Could this be the very spider that sank its fangs into Peter Parker all those years ago, granting him his arachnid-inspired abilities? Given this is real life, well, that can't be, right? Unless, of course, there's more to the Spidey story than we know. But wait, before you stop planning your crime-fighting career, let's step back and think logically. While it's tempting to believe in superhero-like spiders, the reality is usually more complicated. This could just be a random spider with a striking resemblance to the web-slinger, or a creation meant to mislead. Still, the idea of finding a real-life Spider-Man spider is fascinating. Who knows, there might be someone shooting webs out there. Next, we have a clip from this woman who is just kicking it in her apartment one night, probably getting ready for bed or whatever, when she happens to glance out of her window up at the mountains.
No estoy buscando seguidores. Como pueden ver en todas mis fotos y videos.
That's when she sees this totally trippy display. These glowing blue lines, almost like tentacles, slithering and undulating across the sky. She whips out her phone to record the whole mind-bending scene through the glass. It's both eerily beautiful and downright bizarre. You still have to wonder, though, what could be responsible for causing something like that? Are we talking about legit paranormal activity here? Maybe some ethereal spirits just glazing across the night sky, leaving these glowing trails in their wake? Or is there more to it? Gives me chills just thinking about it. Julius and his skeptic kind, however, think it might be some weird trick of the light, like reflections bouncing off her window from inside her place. Very boring explanation, but possible, I suppose. Does it feel unexplainable? No, maybe. Is it insanely cool? 100%. Anyway, you guys have seen it now. What do you also think about it? Just a quick reminder before the next clip comes, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send a Bigfoot after you now, would you? In this mystifying video, a diligent worker is carefully placing boxes on a shelf when, without warning, the boxes decide to defy gravity and tumble off the shelves on their own. This is bizarre and, quite frankly, a bit upsetting. Yet this is just the beginning of a series of strange events. As the worker tries to make sense of the situation, something else happens. An unseen force pushes down some more boxes and takes control of his body and then drags him around as though he were a piece of paper. He told his managers, who didn't believe him until the CCTV footage was reviewed and this was seen. What do you think could be happening here? Are we dealing with a supernatural presence, a glitch in the fabric of reality, or perhaps a manifestation of undiscovered energies within the walls of the warehouse? Share your thoughts. Do you know what an obsidian blade is? No? Well, today is your lucky day. Take a look. This blade is known as an obsidian blade. It's the sharpest blade in the world, crafted from volcanic glass or lava. Believe it or not, their incredible sharpness far surpasses that of traditional steel scalpels. The edge of an obsidian blade can be just a few molecules thick, allowing it to cut with astonishing precision. Given these features, they're highly valued not only by archaeologists and historians for their historical significance, but also by modern surgeons for certain delicate surgical procedures. Imagine wielding a blade so sharp it can split cells without crushing them. That's the power of the obsidian blade. Isn't it interesting how this ancient technology, honed by civilization like the Aztecs and Mayans, continues to find relevance in today's world? What is that? It definitely doesn't look like any sort of creatures that we're used to seeing, right? So what are we dealing with here? Well, it's online because the people who posted it didn't know what it was either. This was recorded somewhere in China. The creature was spotted by one of the colleagues of the one filming. They initially thought it was a crocodile, but after considering the thought for a while, they realized that would have been virtually impossible given their location. Crocs don't exactly live there. When they got close enough to take a look, they realized that the creature could easily pass for a croc, eel, or maybe a long shot, a sea snake, depending on where you're standing, of course. The bizarre thing, however, was that the creature was none of these things, necessitating them to upload it in the hopes of getting answers. Now, I've seen it, and I must say, it is confusing. Unfortunately, Julius, our science whiz, has gone on one of those science expeditions for the greater good and is without cell service there. Basically, all I'm trying to say is, I don't know what this is, and I can't confirm if it's real or not. Can you? On a bright, sunlit day, an unsuspecting woman found herself being confronted by an eerie and mysterious sight. There on the wall of that building is the unmistakable silhouette of a person's shadow. Do you see it? That's definitely not your ordinary shadow. No, this one stands out, and there's no one around to cast it. We double-checked to see if it was painted, and no, it's not a painted mural or a trick of the light either. It's a genuine shadow that seems to have a life of its own. How is this plausible? Well, it's not. We believe there's got to be something supernatural going on here. Aaron thinks we may be dealing with a shadow person. For those unfamiliar with the term, a shadow person is a term used in folklore to refer to a dark, shadowy figure that looks like a person, just like we're seeing in the footage. There's, however, not been evidence of their existence until this clip. What do you think? Genuine or fabricated? In the expansive sky where the horizon meets the unknown, TikToker at Daniel Velez Wagner, a skilled glider pilot, recently experienced an extraordinary moment. While flying solo through the clouds, he captured a breathtaking scene that has amazed viewers. And if you guessed UFO, you are right. Wait, I put that in the title of the clip, so you have already seen it. Anyway, do you believe that's a UFO zooming past his glider at incredible speed? Everyone who's seen the clip thinks so, but some are not so convinced. They think the object just doesn't blend too well with the environment, meaning it has to be edited footage. Take a second look and tell me what you think, edited or the real deal. Share your thoughts in the comments section. A couple in China recently went apartment hunting and found a surprisingly affordable option in a multi-story building. As they toured the available room, they were shocked to discover a huge gap between the bed and the windows, which extended down to the ground floor. It turned out that all the apartments in the building had the same gaping holes. This hazardous design poses a significant risk. If someone were to walk in their sleep or miss a step in the middle of the night, the consequences could be fatal. Despite the affordability of the apartment, the couple were understandably concerned about the safety implications. Would you consider living in such a place given the affordability, or is the safety risk too great? Encountering strange objects in the night sky can be both thrilling and perplexing. One such incident occurred when someone was driving near a forest one night and spotted the edge of a round-looking craft hovering above the trees. The full craft was not in view though, just a little bit to give it that mysterious and otherworldly feel, if you know what I mean. What made this sighting even more intriguing were the lights on the craft, which changed colors intermittently. When the footage of this encounter was shared online, it sparked a flurry of debate. Some viewers speculated that the object could simply be a drone, while others leaned towards a more extraterrestrial explanation, suggesting it might be an unidentified flying object. Then there were some who thought it was fake. The last thing they expected from an alien ship was to have an RGB lighting system. But then again, we can't really dismiss anything till we have enough proof. Can we? Anyway, what's your take on this? Do you think it's just a drone, or could it possibly be something more mysterious like a UFO? You tell me. Next, let's dive into this spine-chilling clip. This dog owner was enjoying some time with his canine pal until the dog started acting like this. It was growling whilst focusing intently on one corner of the room. As the dog trembled with unease, the owner, unable to perceive the supposed threat, grappled with the unsettling reality that their canine companion could have sensed something beyond our physical plane. He thinks the dog may have sensed a ghost, which, when you think about it, isn't too impossible. Animals are known to be quite sensitive to energies and entities beyond human detection, and this situation right here might just have proven that fact, unless you think there's a more logical explanation. Anyway, care to share your thoughts? A Facebook user recently shared a mesmerizing video featuring two intrepid divers exploring the ocean's hidden wonders. It was meant to be an ordinary clip, until it wasn't. In the background, two massive creatures with an uncanny resemblance to extinct dinosaurs glide by. Naturally, all who saw this were confused and didn't know what to make of it. I showed the clip to Julius, and well, he thinks given their long necks and all, they might be plesiosaurs. Now, this isn't my forte, but plesiosaurs were a type of marine reptile that existed approximately 252 to 66 million years ago and are mostly sometimes referred to as the Loch Ness Monster. Although they lived alongside dinosaurs, plesiosaurs were not exactly dinosaurs, and they had a distinct ecological role in marine environments. Along with various other marine reptiles, plesiosaurs became extinct around 66 million years ago. So it's quite a shock to spot a creature that looks so much like one. So could these really be plesiosaurs, or are we actually mistaking the Loch Ness Monster for one? Someone also posted a similar situation where they saw more than two heavenly bodies in the sky. In a video that captured this event, two crescent-shaped objects appeared to be descending toward a larger, brighter sphere that was below them. As these objects got closer to the sphere, they vanished for a brief moment due to the brightness emitted by the sphere.
It's two figures in the air. It's two figures in the air.
Some people who've seen the footage suggest that this could be a reflection of some kind, while others believe it could be something else entirely. It's unclear what these objects are or where they came from, but there are a section who are refusing to think it's anything out of the ordinary. What about you, though? What do you think?
It's like four suns lined up.
Mars is a planet that has long fascinated scientists and astronomers alike. It's often referred to as Earth's backup planet, with some experts believing that it was once teeming with life and greenery similar to our planet. To better understand the planet, its history, and potential for life, many robotic missions have been launched to the planet. Researchers have made some fascinating discoveries from these missions. One of the most notable findings was a long streak on the planet's surface that ended in a curve that appeared to be a craft of some kind, possibly a saucer-shaped object. This discovery raised questions about whether there could be intelligent life on the planet and whether they could be responsible for such an object. In 2020, scientists deployed a device to the planet's surface to measure Mars quakes. However, they were surprised to discover strange, unexplainable noises coming from beneath the planet's surface. These noises culminated in a loud howl, which left the scientists wondering what could have caused it. Some experts believe that it could be evidence of life beneath the surface, while others think that it could be something more sinister. More recently, in March 2021, a rover was sent to Mars to capture visual footage of the planet. While analyzing the footage, scientists noticed something in the sky that resembled a bird. To confirm their suspicions, they placed a pixelated image of a bird next to the object, and the two appeared almost identical. This discovery was particularly intriguing as it suggested that there may be avian life on the planet. Not everyone buys into the bird theory, though. Some NASA experts mentioned that a helicopter named Ingenuity went with the rover for the expedition. That made me think we were dealing with that particular helicopter, but it didn't match the captured image when placed side by side. Some suggested dust particles, but that would have been captured on all four images and not just one. Some also think it might be the foil of rover's insulation that might have blown off some minutes before it landed. While these sound plausible, many enthusiasts want to believe it's alien. The fact that no definite explanation can be given for a number of the situations described here has led many to hypothesize that there could be life on Mars, whether it be intelligent or microbial. While there is still much to learn about the planet, these discoveries have piqued the interest of individuals around the world. You have seen the clip yourself. What do you think? You're probably wondering why we're showing you someone's bedroom, right? Well, wait a sec, and there it is. Do you hear those loud banging or knocking sounds? This has apparently been going on for a while, and the woman was the only one who noticed.
Oh, baby, wake up! What the fuck? What the fuck, baby? Wake up, wake up, wake up! Something just open the door.
The man always seemed to be very deep in sleep anytime something like this happened, and the woman found it weird. They installed a camera to know what was really happening, and this is the result. The man still slept through it. What do you think could be happening here, and why does the man always sleep through it? Some think it's demonic, while others think they're just faking it. What do you think?
Wake up! What the fuck?
In the heart of the Amazon rainforest, a captivating and mystifying scene unfolded as someone managed to capture a mesmerizing sight from a distance. Among the thick cluster of trees, a red orb appeared, rising gracefully as if emerging from the heart of the lush vegetation. This glowing spectacle resembled a fiery flame. But what could it be? There are indigenous beliefs and folklore that often speak of nature spirits and guardians dwelling in the depths of the jungle. Could this be one of them? Aaron seems to think so. Julius, being the more practical one, offers a different interpretation. He suggests that what we are seeing could be a flare from someone in a distressing situation, or perhaps the light of a drone at work. You've seen the clip. What do you also think? When we observe an eclipse, it's always from the Earth's perspective. However, this time, let's take a closer look at it from space. The following image was captured by a Starlink satellite during an eclipse on Earth. At least, that's the narrative that came with the original post. Being the inquisitive me, I checked to see if it was true, because you know how it is on the internet. Surely enough, it was. The satellite appears to be moving around the Earth, and the eclipse appears as a patch of blackness on the Earth. The contrast between the bright areas of the Earth and the shadow of the eclipse is striking. From the satellite's perspective, it looks like a black hole or some other mysterious object, adding to the eerie feeling of the image. It's incredible to see this phenomenon from a different perspective, and it reminds us of the vastness and complexity of our solar system. Stepping away from the Martian possibilities, we move back to Earth, where one of us has apparently lost touch with the Earth. In the clip, we see a man floating in the sky with no tethers or anything either pulling him up or holding him down. The sight is a strange one, and it has led to many discussions and interpretations online. Some think the man is possessed, while some think there's something invisible holding him up. Many others wanted to believe it was a hoax, but there was a law enforcement officer there, which adds a layer of authenticity to the whole thing. There were some who also thought it was an otherworldly being, perhaps a soul reaper. As with many of these clips, we don't have a lot of background information, which makes it very hard to determine how authentic they truly are. But then again, you see the whole thing, don't you? What do you think we're dealing with here? In the eerie depths of an abandoned building, a daring explorer stumbled upon a rather unusual scene.
Bueno, quédense tranquilos.
In the backyard of this building were 5 wooden chairs meticulously arranged in a circle, facing each other. While this may look ordinary to some, something strange occurs in the middle of that circle of chairs. Dried leaves, seemingly guided by an unseen force, twirled in a haunting dance, forming a perfect circle. The unnatural choreography of these leaves raises a chilling question. Was the arrangement of these chairs a purposeful attempt to create a vortex, a mysterious portal, or a focal point for paranormal energy? The concept of a vortex, thought by some to be a swirling gateway between dimensions, could explain the eerie movement of the leaves at the center. Such occurrences are often linked to supernatural events and paranormal activity. Do you think there's something paranormal really happening here, or are we simply overthinking and blowing things out of proportion? Share your thoughts. If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more of these videos for you. Thank you so much. Now back to today's episode.
Oh my god.
A guy captures not 1 but 2 moons in the sky, with one trailing behind the other. We're not talking about atmospheric illusions or misty reflections. These are actual moons sharing the celestial space. But how? The truth is, no one knows for certain. Can you help? Julius wants to sit out of this one and wants to see what you guys can come up with. Share your thoughts in the comments section. A homeowner shared this intriguing footage online. Their motion sensor security camera went off one morning around 9 a.m., and when they went out to check what it was, this is what they found. There was a luminous entity on the small pool in their backyard. According to the homeowner, it wasn't a reflection of the sun, but some sort of glowing creature moving on the water's surface. One commenter suggested that this could be a portal, as water is often considered a good conduit for various beings to transport. And while that definitely sounds very interesting, there were some who were skeptical. Take this individual, for instance. She really believed it was the reflection of the sun, and she had salient points to back up her claim. But if there's anything I've learned in my few years of doing this, is that things aren't always what they seem to be, or not to be. What do you guys think, though? Kindly share your thoughts. Next, we got another clip that fits the category of the strange and bizarre. Take a look. For context, this was captured by a young man on his family's property. It was supposed to be a night like any other when strange things started to happen. There was just this uneasiness in the atmosphere that he was not alone. Being the curious person that he is, he stepped out to take a look. Perhaps just to confirm it was all in his mind. When he stepped out, though, he realized he was out of his mind. He'd potentially put himself in harm's way because there was actually something out there. He frantically moves around trying to make sure he's safe, and the video ends shortly after. The question on everyone's mind is, what was that, and is the young lad safe? It turns out he's actually, because the clip couldn't have been uploaded otherwise. Everyone is convinced that he encountered an alien, and I can understand why they think that. The clip is so dark that it could be anything. This happened somewhere in America, which led one member of one of these paranormal platforms to ask the all-important question: why are these things typically common in America? I thought about it for a second, and this crazy idea came to me. If there are aliens out there, perhaps they've done their research and watched a lot of Earth movies. If they have, then they have seen that America always saves the world in these movies. If I were an alien doing research, I would certainly like to check out my biggest potential threat. What do you guys think? This next one is a capture from a paranormal group I was gifted the opportunity to be a part of. I don't need to tell you what this creature is, do I? It was captured on a trail cam of one of the participants of the group. According to him, he's encountered this being before and has barely escaped with his life. He was out exploring the woods when it got dark. In his bid to get home, he took a shortcut, and that's where his woes began. He felt the creature stalk and follow him. He couldn't tell, but it had dark fur and a menacing growl. He tried running away and eventually stumbled. That's when the creature revealed itself in its full glory. Once he saw its sharp teeth, he knew he was a goner until a party of hunters came his way with its sharp teeth. The only reason he escaped with his life was because there was a party of hunters heading his way. The creature heard them and retreated, yet no one would believe his story. This is why he fixed the trail cams. It took a year and some months, but he finally had his proof and wanted the world to see it. At least that's what he said. Some people believe his story, while some think it's just AI imagery with a lot of lies. You have seen the capture yourself now. What do you make of it? This mysterious clip has had the whole paranormal community talking. I mean, it's not often you see a creature like this moving across a river in the heart of the woods. What creature is it? Well, if you have been on this page long enough, then you definitely know I'm going to call that out to be a Bigfoot. I mean, the bipedal form and the fur are dead giveaways. The question is, where was this taken, and was it alone? Someone captured a strange-looking phenomenon in the sky, a dark figure shaped like a fish. Yup, that's a giant fish in the sky, but last I checked, there's no ocean up there, so what could a fish be doing in the sky? Well, remember what I said about things not always being what they seem. Some members of the community believe this might be the perfect example of that. They suggested that this might be evidence of the firmament. The firmament theory posits that there is a dome over the Earth separating our sky from a large body of water. And according to this theory, space doesn't exist as we know it. This dome, according to them, supposedly explains why a fish-like object could appear in the clouds. While that does sound interesting, some believe this is merely a projection from the Blue Beam Project. If you are new here, it's a conspiracy theory suggesting that certain images can be projected into the sky to create illusions. Skeptics, on the other hand, have their explanations. A sect of them argue that this is simply a shadow or a trick of the light, whereas others think it might be a blimp. Someone shared a video online claiming to have captured footage of Bigfoot. The creature in question appeared to be hairy with red glowing eyes and white fur. However, the face looked too off to fit the typical description of Bigfoot, causing skepticism among viewers. Most people who saw the footage weren't convinced it was genuine. The consensus was that it looked more like a person in a costume than an actual paranormal creature. The odd facial features and the overall appearance led many to believe it was a hoax. What do you think? Could this be a genuine sighting of Bigfoot, or is it just another clever costume designed to fool viewers? A man was tidying up his backyard one afternoon, clearing out a pile of old wood that had been sitting there for ages. As he lifted the last few logs, he stumbled upon something unexpected. Nestled in the dirt was this strange-looking creature. It was unlike anything he'd ever seen before. The creature had a rodent-like body, but what stood out the most was its face. It had no visible eyes, just a nose and a mouth with two prominent lower teeth poking out. I know what some of you were waiting to type. Alien. Courtesy of Julius, I know it's not. This peculiar animal is known as a blind mole rat. These fascinating creatures are perfectly adapted to their subterranean lifestyle. Without the need for eyes in such an environment, they navigate their dark underground tunnels using their highly developed sense of smell and touch. Their lack of eyes, combined with their powerful digging teeth, makes them well suited for life beneath the surface, where they spend most of their time. I'm not sure what this particular one was doing in the man's backyard, but it's a sight to behold. Just look at it. Stepping away from the strange conspiracies, we've got a story from a man who shared eerie footage on TikTok that has left viewers both intrigued and unsettled.
Hey. Hey. What you stand up there so far? Hey.
According to him, a strange woman tends to regularly appear behind his fence, standing completely still in the middle of the night. Her long hair is the only thing visible, as the rest of her body is hidden by the fence. When it's daytime, the woman is nowhere to be found. This is something he'd noticed, and it was beginning to spook him, and I get it. I would be spooked too. When he uploaded this online, many took an interest in his case and asked for updates. He sent more clips, but the one which stood out was this particular one with the hood. Despite his attempt to get her attention by calling out to her and even tapping aggressively on the fence, she remained unresponsive. Naturally, all who commented were shocked and some trying to figure out what was going on. One person even suggested it might be a scarecrow, but I would expect a scarecrow to be put out during the day and not at night. But who knows? It's easy to dismiss such sightings as pranks or hoaxes, but there's always a lingering doubt. What if it's not?
What you stand up there so far? Hey. Every night this one comes on a bright, so I know I move.
Next, we have another alleged clip of the Mars rover that shows a small insect walking on it. This sighting is particularly fascinating considering that there has been no evidence of life on Mars to date. The insect appears to be a small creature with a distinct shape on the rover's surface. Naturally, this led to a lot of mixed reactions online. While many wondered how a fly could survive on such a harsh planet, or how it got there in the first place, one particular user called our outlook arrogant. In his own words, it's arrogant to assume we know where life can exist based on the conditions on our planet. To an extent, I agree with him. What if the conditions for life on other planets are very different from ours? For instance, we all know how fragile snails can be, but did you know that there are some snails that live in volcanic regions? If we were using what we know about our ordinary snails, then those volcanic snails should not exist. But here we are. They are even a wonder to many scientists. In the same vein, perhaps we could be measuring the possibility of life on Mars using the wrong metrics. Anyway, back to the discussion. As the discussion and debates raged on, some individuals pointed out that, although we were looking at a rover, this particular rover was not on Mars but in the desert. If this is true, it's certainly disappointing, but then again it doesn't change the facts we mentioned earlier. Perhaps if we want to discover life on other planets, we need to stop looking at things through the lens of our own planet. Surely we can use that as a starting point, but it shouldn't be the only lens we wear. A sharp departure from our mystery videos, but still, do check out this amazing mirror cabin. It's a super cool piece of modern architecture that's made of reflective steel. The steel is so reflective that the cabin blends right into its surroundings, making it look like it's almost invisible. It's stunning and so fascinating to look at. Plus, the inside is just as impressive as the outside. The designers went all out to make sure that every inch of space was comfy and convenient. You've got to see it for yourself to believe it. Imagine hiding out here during an apocalypse. Wait, why did I think apocalypse and not something romantic? Well, this is a mystery channel after all. So, would I get one? Well, let's just say it's got me daydreaming about a futuristic hideaway of my own. After all, who wouldn't want to ride out to the end of the world in style? In the middle of nowhere, someone captured this footage. In it, a mysterious triangular-shaped craft appears, hovering silently above a mountain. It's not like anything you've ever seen before. Then out of nowhere, a beautiful, bright beam of light shoots down from the craft, illuminating the mountaintop. The light stays there for a while, casting an eerie glow on the rocks and trees below. Just as quickly as it appeared, the craft zips away, disappearing into the sky in a matter of seconds. Was it a UFO? It certainly looked like one. The triangular shape, the mysterious beam, the incredible speed, everything about it screams otherworldly. And what was the purpose of the beam, and where did it go so quickly? Unfortunately, these are questions we can never answer, but what do you think? Is it proof of extraterrestrial life, or is there a more mundane explanation?
Check this out. There's a fire inside the rocks. Dude, those rocks are glowing red.
I want to see.
A man is out for a hike, enjoying the peace and serenity of the woods when he stumbles upon something truly bizarre. Nestled among the trees is a rock formation, but it's not just any ordinary rock. Inside the rock, there's a fire burning. There are no visible flames, but the rocks are glowing red hot, and smoke is seeping out from the sides. How could this be happening? Fires don't just ignite within rocks, do they? Well, there are a few possibilities that might explain this strange phenomenon. One theory is that there could be coal or peat deposits underground. Sometimes these materials can ignite due to spontaneous combustion, often fueled by chemical reactions within the earth. These underground fires can burn for years, even decades, slowly smoldering and causing the surrounding rocks to glow and emit smoke. Another possibility is geothermal activity. In areas with volcanic or geothermal activity, heat from beneath the Earth's crust can cause rocks to become incredibly hot. In some cases, the heat can be so intense that it causes the rocks to glow and produce smoke. But in a more fantastical explanation, perhaps this could be the gateway to hell. Who knows?
There's a fire inside the rocks. Dude, those rocks are glowing red.
I want to see.
When we board a plane, we expect it to take off and move through the sky to our destination. However, imagine if the plane somehow got stuck in mid-air. Sounds like something that belongs to a sci-fi movie, right? But no. Yes, that's a plane stuck mid-air. According to the one who sent the clip in, it happened as he was driving through town. He looked up and then saw a small plane seemingly suspended in the air without moving an inch. Baffled, he recorded the whole thing and placed it online. Many who saw it believed it had to be CGI. Others thought it was an illusion. The comment section of the original post was nothing but a war zone, with each person stating why it was what they believed it was. Now that you have seen the clip, feel free to join the battle. What do you think we're dealing with here? Before you join in, though, take a look at my favorite of all the comments. Take a look at this footage. A man dressed in all black is walking down the stairs of a building when suddenly, out of nowhere, a body appears from the ground and bounces aggressively. The man seemed alarmed by it and even almost tripped over the strange being. However, he manages to hold his ground, turns around, and stares at the lifeless body that just appeared out of nowhere. It is bizarre, I must say. Did the body somehow transport itself from another dimension, or is it possible that a person is being returned from an alien abduction? It's hard to say given the limited number of seconds we get to see the clip. Some in the paranormal community, like this lad, believe the lady, assuming the body is really feminine, fell, but that's a hard pill to swallow. There's no evidence showing a fall from any height. Secondly, there's no blood, and a bounce isn't exactly what you would expect from a fall on such a surface. The alternative is a glitch, which many have ascribed to. Others argue that it's teleportation. But like I said, this is something we can never be really sure of. What do you guys think? Are there elements in the clip I missed that might explain the mystery? Please share your insights. A helicopter flying over a glacier captured this unique sight. Looks like dirt or something closer to that coming out of the glacier, doesn't it? Well, it's water. Yes, that's actually water gushing out of the glacier like a powerful fountain. How is that even possible, you ask? Well, glaciers hold a secret world within them. Inside a glacier, rivers often form on the surface and flow through channels called vesicles, which are like natural tunnels within the ice. These rivers journey deep into the glacier, encountering immense pressure along the way. After traveling great distances and building up pressure, they sometimes burst back to the surface in spectacular displays. What we're witnessing in this video is a stunning example of nature's power and beauty. The water fountain here is about 20 feet tall, cascading down approximately 200 feet before reaching the base and terminal moraine below. Watching this massive fountain of water emerge from the ice is not just visibly stunning, it's a testament to the incredible and sometimes surprising processes that occur in our natural world.
So this is the third thumb. So it's a flexible thumb that's controlled with two motors that's worn on the wrist. On my left foot is doing this movement, so it's pulling up and back, and it's proportional, so I can go fast or slow. And then my right toe is doing this, pulling across.
Scientists are now suggesting that we might need an 11th finger, which they're calling the third thumb. That's right. They think our human bodies aren't perfect as they are, and we need some modifications. This fascinating invention comes from a team of researchers at Cambridge led by Professor MacLeod and Tamar Markin. The third thumb is a prosthetic device designed to be worn on the side of the hand, providing an extra digit to assist with various tasks like gripping tools, playing musical instruments, or even typing faster. Think about it. How much could our daily lives change with this added dexterity? For example, holding a coffee cup while typing an email or using a smartphone more comfortably. The idea of augmenting our bodies with extra parts is both thrilling and a little intimidating. Would you be up for trying out a third thumb? Mothra. Is that you? Well, there are two, so Mothras? For those unfamiliar with the name, it refers to a moth butterfly thing from Godzilla. And while that's just fiction, this does not appear to be. It was posted by a user online. Just in case you're wondering, yes, they are moths, and just like butterflies, moths can come in all colors and sizes. Here we see two beautiful moths perched on a tree going about their business, if you know what I mean. Just look at their vibrant colors and intricate designs. These are what we call Cecropia moths. They are one of the largest moth species in North America and are known for their striking appearance. Their wings display a mix of red, white, brown, and black, forming an almost mesmerizing pattern. Cecropia moths are not only beautiful, but also fascinating in their life cycle, from their large green caterpillars to these magnificent adult forms. Amazing, isn't it? Have you ever encountered these captivating creatures in the wild? Share your experience. Imagine coming home from work to meet this on your stairs instead of your dog trying to get you to pat him or her and wagging the tail to let you know you have been missed. The one who uploaded this strange clip stated that when he arrived home, he was greeted with this strange sight on his stairs. From his perspective, the dog looked more like a person sitting on the stairs. It was unsettling and almost uncanny, so he moved closer. When the dog allegedly noticed its presence, it transformed back into the normal dog. This bizarre visual illusion left everyone online taken aback. Many people were quick to speculate that it might be a skinwalker, a mythical creature believed to have the ability to shapeshift. So what do you think? Is this just a trick of perspective, or could there be something more supernatural at play? Share your thoughts. This next one might look like a scene straight out of a sci-fi movie or some AI-generated weather phenomenon, but believe me when I say it's not. You're actually seeing a person in a high-voltage suit putting it to the test. That metal ball at the top is generating volts of electricity that zap through the air, creating a spectacle that resembles a lightning storm. The sheer amount of voltage is astounding, making the scene both thrilling and a little terrifying. But here's the amazing part. Thanks to the incredibly efficient suit, the person inside is perfectly safe. She can walk around and even touch the zaps of electricity without any harm coming to them. It's a fascinating demonstration of both human ingenuity and the raw power of electricity. It's incredible to think about the kind of technology that allows someone to stand in the midst of what looks like a lightning storm and come out unscathed. Which one of you wants to be the first to try that on?
Yes, I've been attacked by a man in the woods while I was hunting. Please send the police to my location immediately. I cannot stay on the phone. I have to cover him. Please send the police immediately. My name is Jeff McDonald.
Okay, what's going on up there, sir? Can you tell me?
I was attacked by a naked man, and right now he's laying in the woods near me. He's mostly okay, but I'm holding my deer rifle on him. I mean, I'm not going to let him attack me again. I need the police up here now.
Okay, and where is this naked man?
The naked man is laying about 20 feet from me.
Is he alive? Is he?
I believe he's asleep right now, yes. But I'm telling him he can't get up. I'm making him lay on the ground. He attacked me earlier and damn near killed me.
Now let's take a look at another bizarre encounter in the woods. This time a man was out hunting when a naked guy suddenly jumped from the woods and attacked him, screaming, "Sasquatch kills the hunter." When the police arrived, they found the assailant, a 22-year-old man who claimed that Sasquatch was his spirit animal and had commanded him to attack the hunter. Could this be a sign of mental illness? It's hard to say now since the event took place in 2013. People can be scarier and more unpredictable than the animals and mythical creatures we fear. The sheer oddity of a naked man claiming to be driven by a Sasquatch spirit or attack a hunter is something straight out of a wild story. What do you think could have been going on?
Okay, and you got him held at gunpoint?
Yes, I do. This is a real emergency. I need real police in the quick.
I understand that. Okay.
Because I only have one option here, and you know what it is.
I bet you thought that was a mouse, right? I mean, that would have been my first guess, but for its unusual movements and, well, its very unusual face. Typically, creatures its size have two eyes, but this guy seems to have one huge one. What's more, its hands or paws, wait, can we call it that? Well, never mind. Back to what I was saying, its paws are cat-like, if I'm right. These features combined give you a very strange creature. Think of it as a cat-human-rat hybrid. That's the best I can come up with. What do you guys think? Is this thing really real, or is someone out there just messing with us? While taking a walk along the road during sundown, someone came across a glowing orb floating just a little above the ground. It hovered there for a while before slowly starting to fly away. Glowing orbs like this have been spotted all over the world, yet their true nature remains a mystery. Some people believe these orbs are related to alien activity, suggesting they might be probes or even manifestations of extraterrestrial presence. Others think they're natural light phenomena, such as ball lighting or swamp gas, which can produce similar visual effects under certain conditions. Skeptics, on the other hand, argue that many of these sightings are hoaxes created through clever use of technology or optical illusions. You can see the clip, and if you've been on this channel since day 0, you have seen us feature a lot of clips involving them as well. What do you personally think of them? Going to the dentist is a nerve-wracking experience for many people, especially when you know there's a good chance you'll need a tooth pulled. No matter how friendly your dentist is, it's hard to stay calm when you're in that chair. But here's something that might surprise you. There's a new invention where, instead of a human dentist, a robot examines your teeth. That's right, a robot. This device is controlled by a doctor on the other side of the screen. The idea is that this robot can perform precise and efficient dental work, potentially reducing human error and making the process smoother. But the big question is, would you trust it? Some people might find the idea comforting, thinking a robot could be more accurate and less prone to mistakes. Others might feel even more anxious, preferring the human touch and the reassurance that comes with it. Honestly speaking, I, for one, would be freaked out. What about you? Would you feel more at ease knowing a machine is handling your dental care, or would the thought of a robot poking around in your mouth make you even more anxious?
Yo, what's it? Yo! See that? Is that it? Hello? Yo, you see that dude? Look! Yo, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Yo, go. Get the fuck out.
A group of teenagers planned a weekend getaway in the backcountry bordering remote forest land in Nassau, New York. They parked their van a few meters away and were relaxing in an open area when, out of nowhere, they noticed something moving through the woods near the van. Panic set in immediately and they began to run. The person filming was understandably shaky, but let's take a closer look at the footage, slowed down. There it is, a dark, furry creature. It was walking on two legs almost stealthily until the teens noticed it. That's when the creature dropped to all fours and started chasing after them. You know those moments that feel like they're straight out of a horror movie? This is one of them. The footage is so creepy watching this creature move. It's disturbingly human but also wild, and the way the teen is panicking as the creature chases them down, it's intense and seriously chilling. What do you think? Was it a legendary Bigfoot sighting or an encounter with the mysterious Dogman? Some fancy it being a bear, but I don't know. I like the thought of it being Bigfoot better. Either way, it's a weekend these teens will never forget.
Yo, what's it? Yo! See that? Is that it? Hello? Yo, you see that dude? Look! Yo, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Yo, go. Get the fuck out.
Stepping away from robotics, did you know only 2% of your DNA codes are for proteins, with up to 98% of your genome not coding for anything? This is something scientists refer to as dark matter. Nobody knows the exact functions of these DNA and RNA sequences, or why they're even present at all. One thing scientists can, however, agree on when it comes to dark matter is that it helps in regulating and determines how nearby genes are expressed and in which type of cells. Scientists have found thousands of genes in the dark matter, and yet, despite their dedication to uncovering the truth, they don't know what these do, not even their role in disease. They've also established that a number of the dark matter regions remain the same in humans, mice, and other living creatures such as chickens. Scientists concluded that although they didn't know what these were or how they functioned, they must be vital to our survival, especially when you take into consideration our evolution over millennia. In a study, some researchers altered the dark matter of some mice, and it led to abnormalities in their brains. They then concluded that dark matter could be related to brain diseases like Alzheimer's. Interesting, don't you think? Well, wait till you find out that up to 50% of the material in your gut does not match any other living creature in our known world. Wild, right? But that's a story for another day. This man approached an ATM, appearing somewhat agitated as he inserted his card. After a moment of waiting, he became increasingly frustrated. Suddenly, without warning, he kicked the machine hard. All of a sudden, cash began to flow out of the dispenser. In a quick, impulsive act, he grabbed a handful of bills and dashed away from the scene, leaving the machine still dispensing cash. Just moments later, a bystander noticed the commotion and rushed after him. This is crazy. Is this some sort of new ATM hack? Anyone who knows should feel free to educate us. And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I will see you in the next one.